My claim is very simple. Christians should not eat pork.
What?
As commanded by God,
What?
outlined in the scriptures.
Are you serious?
But hear my reasoning first. Let me give you a simple syllogism. Premise 1. God's commands stand. Unless overturned, commands remain binding. And don't worry, I'll try to elaborate them more later in the videos.
But wait, there's more.
Premise 2. God forbids pork. Leviticus and Deuteronomy label pork as unclean, while there is no passage, Old or New Testament, that states pork or any other unclean food is now allowed.
Zero. Zilch.
Therefore, the prohibition on pork remains in effect.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. All right. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Now, I brought verses to help with the first premise.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Here are passages from 3 books. Firstly, you have 2 in Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 2.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 2. You shall not add to the word which I am commanding you, nor take away from it, so that you may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I am commanding you.
And then Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 32.
Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 32. Whatever I command you, you shall be careful to do. You shall not add to, nor take anything away from it.
These verses establish a general principle. God's commands are not to be altered by human decision. It ties directly to premise 1. We can't just remove a command ourselves. No mention of pork here, but these passages show the attitude we should have towards any command. Secondly, Matthew chapter 5, verse 17 to 19.
Matthew chapter 5, verses 17 through 19. Do not presume that I came to abolish the law or the prophets. I did not come to abolish, but to fulfill. For truly I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, not the smallest letter or stroke of a letter shall pass from the law, until all is accomplished. Therefore, whoever nullifies one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever keeps and teaches them, he shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Jesus clarifies he didn't come to abolish the law. And the key phrase, unless I'm mistaken, heaven and earth are still here. This is just that Jesus upheld God's command, rebuking those who nullify or teaches others to do so. And again, no mention of pork here, but the principle stands. We can't arbitrarily dismiss any part of God's law. Lastly, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16 to 17.
2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 16 through 17. All scripture is inspired by God and beneficial for teaching, for rebuke, for correction, for training in righteousness, so that the man or woman of God may be fully capable, equipped for every good work.
Paul affirms all scripture,
What in this context is the Old Testament?
is God-breathed and profitable for teaching, correction, etc. If you believe that, I don't see how one can discard certain commands unless God specifically rescinds them. Very simple. Now, looking at premise 2, it should be self-explanatory with these verses. Leviticus chapter 11 verse 2, Leviticus chapter 11 verse 47, and the main one, Leviticus chapter 11 verses 7 to 8. This establishes the basis for prohibiting pork under God's law. Then you have Deuteronomy chapter 14 verse 3, Deuteronomy chapter 14 verse 10, and Deuteronomy chapter 14 verse 21. This is kind of like a second witness affirming pork is forbidden. Very simple. Now, there are multiple objections. I know there are. And that's why this is the first video of the series. But I'm going to try to look at these objections one point at a time and try to keep these videos short. Next,